I know I said I was done with H1Z1, but I guess H1Z1 wasn't done with me. My life is in shambles. What's going on, everyone? The Sweet Lou here, and welcome to another episode of What the Fuck Happened to H1Z1? In our last few episodes, we've talked about how Just Survive has deteriorated in many ways, both in terms of development and in terms of player base. But today, we have a plot twist. It all started with one of my last videos, I'm done with H1Z1. Many of you were asking my thoughts on the new update. I honestly was shocked to hear that Z1 was reintroduced. Imagine that. So I had no choice. I reinstalled and gave the game a shot. Join me, if you will, on another video about Just Survive. Before this update, I can't even tell you how many threads I saw about bringing Z1 back. These threads were consistently met with hostility, and in some cases even censorship, meaning the mods would close down the thread so that the discussion simply couldn't happen. I think this was the biggest reason as to why I was surprised Z1 would be reintroduced. People on the subreddit straight up said Z1 wasn't returning, and that Badwater Canyon was the future. But if you look at the post regarding the 11.20 update, you'll, among other things, notice that Daybreak updated Just Survive to have the following. Choose your map. Servers are now marked for either Badwater Canyon or Anywhere USA, which is Z1. I didn't realize that was the name of Z1. Base foundations are now free placeable and snap together, and raids are no longer timed, shields have been removed, and a bunch of other things. It almost sounds like they watched my last video.
Raids are no longer timed, and raid shields have been removed.
Oh, you're on the Reddit?
No, I'm reading the notes on the update.
Oh, shit.
What the?
Yeah, Screamer. I think I'm dead.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, it's a Banshee, not a Screamer. Okay, so the spawn situation.
They listen to... Dude, it's like they listen to your video. Military vendors and GoldenEye coins are removed.
Dude, I'm
Military
telling you.
base snipers.
Get out of here.
Guys.
Are removed.
I saved H1Z1.
You did it! Oh my god!
I think it's time for another scotch on the rocks.
They knocked off a lot of the other less than survival-y things I brought up. The safe zone, the golden eagle coins, the military bases respawning in your strongholds. It really was a complete shocker, especially when you have threads like this. Apparently this happened over a vote. The community spoke up on Reddit and Daybreak listened. Genuinely, I believe this update is pushing Just Survive in a good direction. It's nice to see Daybreak listen to its community, but is it enough? If we look at the last year of Just Survive's development, you could see months of no progress whatsoever, followed by development into the Badwater Canyon mechanics, followed by a serious U-turn back to the old ways. It's a blast to be back on Z1, but what greater implications does this reversion hold for the game? It's clear that development cycles on Badwater Canyon have been completely wasted. That's not to say that the Badwater map is gone, or that they're going to stop developing it, but the mechanics behind the stronghold system are scrapped in favor of the older building style. What does that say for a game that doesn't have any kind of release schedule and doesn't have any kind of roadmap, really? I can't just praise the game. Just Survive is still plagued with zombie AI issues, and even some new ones, like this beautiful issue with the zombies just phasing through closed doors.
You will come in here, you'll see no doors open. Oh, another one! Where did he come from?
The window. Oh.
What? Where did he... Did that just...
Dude, hold out your torch, I can't see.
I don't even know what that is.
Ow! I'm sorry. It need to be done.
That zombie exploded and disappeared. I knew it! Fuck!
What is this, rust? And still, in certain scenarios, zombies are just uninterested. It seems right now if you lay prone, they can't really figure out what to do. We have zombies approaching from all angles, but I'm employing the top secret picnic table strategy. It's a very professional strategy that no zombie could ever figure out.
For whatever reason, the draw distance completely bugs out. It doesn't render properly.
Oh yeah, it's all purgatory over here. We also can't really mention the bad without mentioning our dear friends at Daybreak. After rolling out the update to bring Z1 back, they seemingly went on Thanksgiving break and left the game with game-breaking issues. Even further than the aforementioned door issue, we also have this awesome G202 error, which has people on Reddit thinking they've been banned for foul play. You might be surprised to hear that I don't have a ton of negative things to say about the gameplay here. Melee combat is improved. It's far from perfect, but it works. When swinging at wolves, it tends to feel a bit clunky though. That's always been an issue in game. Combat with zombies, or when I was smacking KEEF around, felt like a game, which is good. Again, I need to emphasize this. It's not perfect, but it works. The newer melee weapons, like the katana or the axe, are really cool. They seem to just level zombies in one hit though, might need some adjusting. They also level your teammates pretty easily, as Corrupt so expertly demonstrated.
Dude, that's what they've been working on, man, like for months and months.
Aww.
Oh my god!
I died the way I would have wanted to, staring at a picture of a dog. I got to use the shotgun a bit, which felt nice, but let's hear what KEEF had to say about the gunplay.
I mean, it's, it works. It's not, amazing or anything, but it functions.
Would you say it's better or worse than it was?
I'm guessing it's like King of the Kill. It's definitely better than it was. But it didn't. It's not like it's changed. The gunplay feels the same as the last update we played.
Right.
It's just it's very no frills. It's like it's whatever. You shoot it and it hits them.
Be sure to check his channel out, by the way, links below in the description. For the more techie shit, Just Survive ran around a solid 60 frames per second, even in towns, even with crowds of zombies around me. My specs will be listed on screen, and as always with PC gaming, your mileage may vary. In terms of the survival mechanics, things seem to be headed back to where they should be. No more safe or protected zones, for starters. Hunger and hydration still seem like mild annoyances rather than critical aspects of the game you need to monitor in order to continue living. Z1 looks more or less the same. Some of the newer assets like the mineable rocks and cars are loaded in, but Z1 looks the same way it did back over a year ago. With my nostalgia goggles on, I found it to be awesome. By 2017 standards, the game is nothing to write home about, but it's homey, it's quirky, and if you played it from the start, you'll probably get the same feeling I do. In addition to all that, the weather is a welcomed update. We got caught up in a bit of snow, which made the map look really different and interesting. The textures sure need some improving, but again, this is merely a step in the right direction. There's a ton more work that needs to be done before anyone can say this is a game. Remember people, this is still an alpha. They need to figure out the nighttime lighting. Daytime looks great, but nighttime has the issue of just looking a little bit too day for night. That's a bit of a film term, let me explain really quickly. Oftentimes on set, people don't have a budget, the ability, or a schedule to shoot at night, so they shoot the scenes in a very specific way, and then in editing manage to manipulate the colors to make the scenes shot in daytime appear as though they were shot at nighttime. That's kind of what this looks like. Now in real life, that's a very tricky thing to do. My friends and I recently did some in our zombie series Cure over on the Nailed It network. In game, nighttime kind of just looks like this effect, achieved poorly. You can notice it especially on the coloring of the yellow shirt I'm wearing. It looks like daytime with a major exposure drop. Also, you gotta be a dick here. Nice skybox textures, but if you have a full moon, you wouldn't see so many stars. It's not to be a nitpicky cunt, but if we're going for realism, just look at the sky on a new moon and then again on a full moon. Full moons wash out stars, come on. While I have plenty of nice things to say about Z1, I can't really echo the same about Badwater Canyon. With the updates removing the protected zone, the currency, and the pre-play strongholds, Badwater Canyon looks even more barren and empty than it did before. And that's saying something, because Badwater Canyon was fucking boring! Badwater Canyon, more like Borewater Canyon, am I right, people? I'm so sorry. They did expand the map again, so now instead of the quarter of Badwater Canyon, you're on about half of it. There's absolutely more points of interest, but very little in between. Hey, get out of the car, zombie. What the hell do you think this is?
Woo, what is that?
I'm also not really a big fan of how mountainous the Badwater Canyon region is. There's just so much more geography you need to like Skyrim your way up to get around. I also think loot is a bit too plentiful. It's easy to get guns, it's easy to get weapons, and it's an easy game balancing adjustment, so it's not that big of a deal. All in all, I'd be interested to see the completed Badwater Canyon. I was really interested in the dam. It's so large and it seems to have great potential for team fights. I know you guys are probably sick of hearing me talk about branding. Believe me, I'm sick of it too. That said, welcome back to Things That Make No Fucking Sense. I'm your host, the Sweet Lou. Daybreak announced yet another rebranding, this time of the slightly more popular, slightly more developed turd, H1Z1 King of the Kill. Cause let's face it, if Just Survive is spewing warm diarrhea, then H1Z1 King of the Kill is diarrhea with little poo nuggets in the mix. They're both still shit, but I prefer some substance to my shit. What type of defecation do you prefer? Let me know in the comments below. Just kidding, people. That was a meme. Just Survive is improving, you know, whatever. Anyway, apparently Daybreak realized the name H1Z1 King of the Kill sucked the shit out of the asshole of an AIDS-ridden hobo, so they decided to name the game simply H1Z1. So let's recap. In the H1Z1 universe, the H1Z1 virus was what caused the zombie outbreak. So they removed that tag from the survival game with the zombies in it, in favor of the name Just Survive, and put that H1Z1 namesake onto the game with no zombies whatsoever. Right. I can't even speculate. It fucking baffles me. Alright people, it's time for the $1 million question. Cheez-Its or Cheese Nips? Leave your answer in the comments below. That was a joke though. The $1 million question is actually, Lou, can you recommend Just Survive? I'm gonna slightly revise my previous note. If you have the game, and all you need to do is reinstall it, it might be worth checking out. The worst case scenario for you is the game is back where it was a year ago. If you need to go out and buy it, I wouldn't. It's not worth $20 in its current state. It's worth waiting for them to spend more time. It's worth waiting for them to clean things up. We still have no idea of the timeline for completion, nor do we have any idea of the game's longevity. This could go the way of EverQuest's next landmark. Do keep the company's history in mind. If you're unfamiliar, please be sure to check out my video about the history of Daybreak. Link will be in the top right corner now. But the bottom line is, I didn't just grind through playing to make this video. I actually had a bit of fun while I was playing. And maybe it was the nostalgia kicking in, but I really did want to finish the walls of the base we were working on. I felt compelled to gather stuff. Give this game another year, provided the devs don't fuck things up again. And who knows, you might have a really solid survival game. Well, that's it. Thanks for tuning in, people, and I have to give a very special thank you for 200 subscribers. You guys rock. Thank you so much for supporting, commenting, and all that fun stuff. Have a beautiful day, guys. I'll see you around. I am the Sweet Lou.
Dude, you're an amazing driver.